So today was overall a really interesting day. I ended up not taking any trades at all today. It was very confusing and some very, very conflicting confluences. So we're going to go everything, starting on the hourly. Actually, we'll start off with news. Today was quite literally a no news Monday. Absolutely nothing today, not even yellow folder, nothing. Nothing, nada. So that usually leads to either sideways price action or we're going to end up looking like the McDonald's logo, which today we ended up looking like the McDonald's logo on the smaller time frames. So hourly, most obvious thing was we ended up sweeping London session highs, which was kind of why my bias was overall bearish, and we completely filled in this new week opening gap here that we had. London filled it up most of the way, and then we ended up sweeping. We can see we ended up sweeping London session highs, which were up here, and then filling most of this in. So that was, I mean, I guess you can maybe target that, but that's kind of hard to pre-market, and I never trade pre-market. So this was where things got interesting. So I didn't really notice this SMT until one of my guys in my Discord pointed this out. We had a fat-ass bullish SMT. We see here at the 905 candle to the 945 candle, we are making significantly lower lows, while ES, on the other hand, to the 905 to 945 candle is making higher lows, right? This is broad or tighter, higher lows, but we see that NASDAQ is completely lagging behind, which would in turn think it's bullish. But the other confluences that I saw on the 15-minute, at least, was this breaker block. So we see this move down before these continuous legs up. And then we also see that we inverse this 5-minute fair value gap right here. So not only did we have a sweep of London session highs, we had a 5-minute inverse fair value gap, and then we had a 15-minute breaker block that formed. Don't trade against SMTs, because you see if you ended up taking that, you probably took a loss or hit partial take profits, whatever. I thought we were going to rip down to the moon once we ended up doing this. Once we had this closure below this 15-minute breaker block, we had the 5-minute inverse fair value gap. I thought we were going to continue lower down, all the way down to London session lows, which would be all the way down here, which I thought that's what we were going to end up doing, but ended up completely flipping. So then right after we get this, these drastic moves down, we chop for 3 minutes, and then we rip directly back up. And that was when I noticed we had that fat-ass bullish SMT. One of the guys in my Discord pointed that out. I did not notice that until later. Honestly, on the 5-minute time frame, there's just nothing really here. We didn't really inverse any fair value gaps. After this here, it was kind of just sideways, and then we were just completely ripping up. And it was really hard to catch anything. We didn't really have any confluences going, ironically, the opposite direction, right? On the 15-minute, we weren't really left with much. We had this bearish breaker block you could have marked out here. So we have this move up. We get a complete closure above it, all the way over here. And by that time, it's 10:30. Not really looking to place a trade at 10:30. But you could have caught something in here for sure. This move back down was fairly aggressive. I'm trying to see where the guy might... Oh, yeah, this move over here. Sorry, I apologize. I was looking at the wrong thing. Someone in my Discord ended up taking something relatively like this. Here, I'll pull it up, actually. So this is what one of the guys in my Discord ended up taking. I thought this was pretty interesting. I think targeting these highs over here, though, was probably the smart play, targeting these highs. These are like New York open highs. So he ended up hitting take profit 1. I don't really know what the fuck was going on in here because there's things over it. But I think it was after... I mean, it had to have been a break of structure to the upside or something small. I don't know. I thought it was kind of late. I thought overall the idea was almost there. If we had a liquidity sweep, it would have been much better. But it's kind of hard to be like, oh, we just took out these highs. Let's look to go higher is not usually how it works, right? When we take out London highs. But again, this goes to show don't trade against an SMT, right? When we have such a drastic SMT like this, that you try to take a short here, you get smoked pretty much. And if you enter here, price rips down, probably move stop loss to break even at this point if you're able to enter on this candle, which again, I wanted to see the 15-minute breaker block and the 5-minute inverse fair value gap form. Did I think we were going to get this drastic of a candle? If we go from body open to body close, do I think we're almost getting a 100-point candle and completely doing what I wanted to do? No, I'm thinking we're going to take steps. We're going to first inverse the fair value gap, right? We're going to inverse this. Okay, maybe chop a little bit. Maybe on the 1 minute we get closure and then enter short, right? I didn't think we were doing everything in one candle. I did not think that was going to happen. So that's typically what's going to happen with No News Mondays. Overall, wasn't the worst price action I've seen. It was just really hard to find an entry. After we had the SMT, I was pretty sure we were going to be a pretty smooth displacement to the upside, which we relatively did. But again, it was really hard to find an entry today, especially with us ripping up, down, up, back down. It's like, okay, like what are we doing? So, yeah, interesting. Continuing to rip up. Again, we've been hovering around all-time highs. These are actually all-time highs right here. Oops, not right there. These are actually all-time highs here. So we'll see how price ends up going the rest of this week. We got a lot of news coming up. So I personally did not take any trades today. I did not see any setups that I personally liked, especially when bias is just flipping from bullish to bearish to bullish. It's like, okay, if you're really in doubt of where you think price action is going to go, probably best to stay out.